Hello, I'm Sarah Long, Director of the North Suburban Library System, and this is my vodcast. We're in Wheeling, Illinois at the headquarters of the North Suburban Library System, and I'm talking to two of my colleagues, Anna Yackel and Debbie Baskey, both of whom serve as consultants to public libraries and to academic libraries respectively. But they also have other expertise, and what I want to talk about today is interlibrary loan and related issues. Is that right?
Yes, exactly.
So now, okay, so there's interlibrary loan and there's reciprocal borrowing. What's the difference?
Anna, you want to go first?
Okay, well, interlibrary loan is basically where the library gets to the material you want and brings it back to the library for you. Reciprocal borrowing is where you, as a patron, go to another library and get the material from that library yourself.
So it's sort of like, how does the book get to the patron? Does the library get it there for you, or do you go and get it?
Exactly.
And so how do people know where there are books that they might want?
Well, and they may not necessarily know where the book's coming from. It's not really that important to them. They just want the book. So if they need it in a really timely fashion, like Anna said, with reciprocal borrowing, they could go pick up the item themselves. But if they can wait a few days, they can just request the title from their library, and the library does all the work and brings it to them so they can pick it up at their library. So they may not know it might come from another library in Illinois, it might come from a different state. So they're getting the material that the patron wants, but you don't need to wait for it.
Well, and many of our public libraries have made it much easier for people to initiate interlibrary loan requests because you can do it yourself from the catalog.
So all the libraries have the same catalog? How does this work?
A lot of them have the same ones. Some of them have different ones. But a lot of them have the policy where you can go ahead and place your own interlibrary loan requests.
Is that called patron-initiated interlibrary loan?
It sure is, Sarah.
I thought that phrase was
sounded familiar,
yeah.
huh?
So is there a charge for this?
Well, it depends on the library. Some libraries charge a small fee for interlibrary loan items not picked up. It's really a library by library policy as far as fees. Mm-hmm. So you'd have to check with your public library to see if they charge a fee for that service.
And does it take a long time?
It depends. It depends on the scarcity of the item, the ability of the library to send it, and their willingness to send it. Usually you can get an interlibrary loan item anywhere from like 2 to 3 days to 6 months to a year. It all depends on what it is. But the best way, if you're like, you come in, you have a paper due on Monday, it's Friday, you have to read the book, go to your library catalog, and most of them, if they don't have it, they'll have a link on the page that you can get to other library catalogs in the area. Mm-hmm. And you find out where it's at, you call that library, and you go and pick it up yourself. And that way you have it in your hands and you're ready to go.
Write that paper.
Yeah. And they don't charge a fee for that, is that right, Anna?
No.
That sounds pretty good. Is these reciprocal borrowing, the interlibrary loan, is that used a lot?
Oh, it's used very heavily.
Do you have any figures?
Not off the top of my head. If you have further questions, you can always ask at your library. But I think most libraries, this is like part of our stock and trade these days. And we all do it, and we're all happy to help the patrons do it.
The figure that I remember, and I'm not sure how recent this is, but I looked a couple of years ago, and something in North Suburban alone, the reciprocal borrowing is over 1 million items. And if you had to build a library and stock it with books and other things and keep it going, that would be very expensive. But it just impressed me, the fact that there'd been that much usage kind of on the margins.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty impressive, and you're right. I mean, not every library can own every item out there, every DVD, every book, every journal, and so libraries depend on each other to help fill the gaps where they have them.
And also we're really blessed in the Chicagoland area because we have so many really wonderful libraries just at our doorstep. So if your library doesn't have it, chances are you can go down the street and to another wonderful library and they'll have the materials. And most of our libraries also have this very helpful brochure, and it talks about how you can do a reciprocal borrowing kind of procedure, where to go. It has the libraries that participate. and their phone numbers. I think the key to remember with reciprocal borrowing is always call first, make sure the book is on the shelf, and the library will hold it for you and usually put it in a very convenient place for you to pick it up.
Now, this is the commercial, and I'm going to ask you, since you work here too, to help me here. But it seems to me that reciprocal borrowing, the reason it works so well in this area is because of North Suburban.
That, in great part, we do have a lot to do with that because the materials need to move around between the libraries. And so North Suburban provides the delivery method for the items to move from library to library in a timely fashion. So yes, we play a large role in the resource sharing that goes on in Illinois.
And what makes these libraries willing to do this?
Well, they understand the benefit. As you say, no single library could have as many things as all of our libraries have together. And they want their patrons to be able to go to somebody else's library and get that special item that they want, just as much as they welcome other people to come to their libraries.
But let me push you on this.
Okay.
I'm a board member of the XYZ Library, and our taxpayers have paid a lot of money, and we put good books in our collection, good DVDs. We have an excellent collection of these items, and why should we loan it to the neighboring community that doesn't put that kind of money into it? What is it that has happened that has made our library want to share with the poor community?
Well, I think just because you think that a community may be poor, they may also have like a special collection that you don't have. And usually, when I've talked to several library directors and lots of trustees, they realize that it kind of evens out over, the long term, because everyone shares in this and everyone has something to contribute. And it really does work out, and it's to your patron's best advantage.
And one of the things I would point out is that one of the reasons all the libraries cooperate is because North Suburban works with them and from time to time revises the policy and gets them all to agree to do this. That it doesn't just happen. That cooperation is a nice word and we all give lip service to it, but it takes a lot of work to make it happen. And I think, Anna, you chaired a group that met.
I did. And it's getting time to do that again. And it is true. It's like these are people who really think about this. Most of the people we have on the committee also take it back to their own libraries and really talk about what works for them and what doesn't work. And every community, it's like their first goal is to serve their taxpayers and the people in that community. However, they realize, as you say, the advantage of reaching beyond their borders too, because it's all about serving your customer, serving your patron, and getting them the right material when they need it.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think that's about it, but I think if you're interested in using interlibrary loan or the research borrowing program, stop at the reference desk or the circulation desk at your local library, and I think you'll be really pleased if you try out the service.
Good. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Fun to talk to you.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. For more vodcasts, go to my website. That's www.saralong.org. And you can write to me at sarah@saralong.org.